Hey, what's going on? Strat Soldier here for the weekend shift bonus vid. Hey, it's just a weekend shift, honestly. We're going to go through some charts. We're going to look at some things, and we're going to be changing some things up. This week was a little rough, honestly. It was a rough week. If it wasn't clear, it was, I want you guys to remember, it was inside week all week. All right, inside week all week. It was really messy. There's no other way to say that. It was messy. So if you didn't trade anything this week, that's okay. All right, there's no reason to get out here and try so hard to get killed. All right, we don't want that. We have some conflicting actionable signals for next week. We're going to look at some charts pretty soon. Actually, here in just a few minutes, we're going to be looking at some charts. For everybody that was in my webinar, thank you so much for being there. It was fun. We had a really good time. We got 5 new stratters out there on the out there in the market doing good things. That's what I was trying to say. We got 5 new stratters out there doing the work and not getting killed. That's awesome. That is awesome. So thank you so much for being there. I had a one-on-one session sitting in there. No one picked it up, but that's okay. That's okay. Those are going to be in there we're going to be doing these webinars and these one-on-ones every other week. So just to get you guys online and making sure, like I said, creating those winning positions, adding to them, and getting stopped out with profit and not getting killed. All right, that's what I want. I don't want you guys to get out here and think you're gonna and just put a whole bunch of contracts on something or a whole bunch of shares on something and get wrecked. I don't want you to lose a whole bunch of money. That's not why we're here. All right, we're not here to lose. We are here to win. All right, we're not here to get killed. Let's look at some charts here. Here's SPY. It's 2 down on the month, 2 down on the month. We got a shooter on the week, inside bar, and it's a shooter. All right, that's telling me that the sellers are becoming more aggressive, and we could take this thing all the way back down and expand this broadening formation down. All right, the target for this is this guy right here, 431. 431. All right. Hopefully it doesn't get all the way down in there. Honestly, I want this thing to reverse back up, and I'll show you why in just a second. But if this thing goes in force, we're going to go past this one, 433. We're definitely blowing past that one. But 431.19 is what we're looking at for next week if this thing decides to go down. Jackson Hole. I don't know why they called it that, but they did, and they put it out on the news as that. So Jackson Hole, Jay Powell was there talking about inflation. He talked about the dollar. He talked about some other things. He kind of danced around some subjects because he did this exact same thing last year, and the entire market dropped 1,000 points. So he's trying real hard not to kill this fragile market, even though the Fed has been wanting to take it, bring things down. He didn't really want to kill it. He didn't want to destroy it. So he danced around some subjects, but he didn't really hit he didn't really hit the hard things. So we got this. So things didn't really go to the downside on Friday. I talked about being careful on Friday, and it did a little of this. Let's open up these 60s. Let's make them bigger. 60s, make them bigger. Let's put the labels on for the kids in the back. All right. We had a shooter on the first 60-minute bar, opens up. They bring them all the way up. They bring them all the way back down. 2-2 reversal down. Me and a lot of other people got puts. Because we're like, yep, this is what they did Thursday. This is what they're going to do Friday. 2-2 reversal down. But then on a smaller time frame, they started bringing it back up. Let's go to maybe the 30s and the 15s. Let's see, the 30s. Yep, right here. Started bringing them back up. All right. Scenario 3. All right, bringing them back up. They got what they wanted. Sellers got what they wanted. We could drop down to the 15-minute if we really want to. Drop down on the 15 minutes, see what they were doing. Right here, they brought it up. Scenario 3, brought it right back down. All right, and then 2, 3, 2. This is snare 3 up. I would say a 2-2 reversal, but that's a snare 3 up, and then gradually just kept pushing it up. All right. For the new Stratters, I recommend just staying on the 60s because clearly you could see right here, hammer in force right at 438.18, 438.18, and to the highs. All right. Now a lot of other things were doing that exact same thing. All right. You had Apple. Let's go to Apple, AAPL, doing the exact same thing. Bam, Apple, 60s, exact same movement. All right, exact same. Very interesting. Very interesting. That's why I keep showing the SPY all the time. People say, well, you know, you're telling people to go trade SPY all the time. No, I'm not telling you to go trade SPY. I'm telling you to go look at this is what the overall market's doing. All right, and then go find stocks that are doing the exact same thing. That's what I'm saying when I'm just saying go look at SPY. What's SPY doing? Dow Jones, looking at Dow Jones, similar price action. Everything kind of did the same thing on Friday. All right, 2 down, 2 up, and then sellers got what they wanted. Buyers started coming in. Now, are we going to get that 322 on Dow Jones back to the upside? Are we going to get that? We will see. All right. Whoop. We're going to see if we get this thing going back to the upside. That's what we want. Just this downside action. If you didn't catch anything on Thursday, that's okay. Dow Jones. The big thing in Dow Jones was Disney. D-I-S. Disney. Disney mouse going to the lows. Expanding the try to the downside, not doing great at all. All right, someone was talking to me about fundamentals and looking at what they're doing and all their parks and the streaming and all their movies that they're making. And no, this thing's going to the lows, and it went to the lows pretty hard. All right. So. To the lows, Disney just creeping all the way down. All right, was trading sideways, now kind of keep going down. All right, 2 down, center 3 on the month to the lows. Now, what we would do here is redraw these broadening formations, redraw these suckers. All right, I'm gonna do it on the daily chart. If I did it on the 60s, it would look like this. It'll probably automatically snap it back for. Bam, right there. See that? See that? That's the power of TrendSpider. If you want 25% off on any TrendSpider plan, go check out the link in the bio here, and type in use that little code in there, use that link in there, and you will get 25% off of TrendSpider. So Disney going back to the lows, expands the broadening formation to the downside. We could get a reversal back up here, but it's only going to get to $86. All right. We got to get to 89 if we want. Well, to reversal back up maybe next week. I don't know. $86, but it's got a lot of work to do. Disney, if it wants to go back to the highs, Disney is just getting wrecked, getting killed. QQQ. There's a lot of lines on this chart here. Oh man, what are all these lines? I'll explain them in just a second here. Let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of all these lines. Here's your broadening formation, okay? Oop, there's one more. Here's your broadening formation, QQQs. QQQ going 2 down on the month, and also shooter on the week. Get rid of that one. Shooter on the week, if that shooter goes in force, it's going to go down to right here. The magnitude on that is 354. 354. All right? 354. Possible 322 back up right here. 322. All right, possible 322 back up. That would be great. That would be great. If Apple keeps going back to the highs, that'll probably trigger this back to the highs, and a lot of other tech stocks back to the highs. Again, like I said, we got conflicting signals. I got a shooter on the week and a hammer on the day. What do they want? What are they wanting to do? All right, what are they wanting to do? I want them to, honestly, when I show that, when you're looking at the strat, I would like that shooter to go in force because of the month, all right? Because that's reconfirming sellers. That's reconfirming what the majority is doing. But looking at that daily, we could take it right back up, all right? Thursday, why did they take everything down on Thursday? Again, they hit magnitude, buyers got what they wanted, they took them down. Probably trying to price in whatever was going to happen with Jackson Hole, you know what I mean, with Jay Powell. What were all those dang lines on my charts, all right? So if you draw the broadening formation on the 60s, and I'm going to do it on the 60s, we'll do it here. You could do it way back here and do some ugly stuff back here, because from here to here is the greater outside bar. Give me some lines. So what I did was, instead of drawing, so you don't want to draw a whole bunch of broadening formations, all right? You don't want to draw a whole bunch of stuff on your charts. People like to draw, some people are drawing broadening formations off of every scenario 3 in here. You don't have to do that. I remember I was talking about levels of reclaim, levels of reclaim. We do want to know where those fractal triangles are. We want to know where those scenario 3s are, but we don't necessarily need to draw broadening formations on every single one of them. It's too much on the chart. And honestly, if these lines are too much for you, take the lines off. Take them off, okay? You don't need them on there. Let's go bottom line. I want to get, how do we take the price off? Visual. Let's go top, bottom right, bottom right. That way we can get it out of the way. Nope, still in the way. Still in the way. Where are you at? Show price. There it is. Take it off. We're going to take that off just for now for these guys. All right. For this 60-minute chart, and I got to do it on the smaller screen, and then I'll blow it up. But here's your broadening formation on the 60s, okay? There's a scenario 3. Let's turn the labels on for the kids in the back. There's a scenario 3. We know on a smaller time frame that's a broadening formation. We want to mark that, all right? That's a level of reclaim. Is the price going to work back through this broadening formation, or is it going to get stuck in there? All right, we want to know that, all right? Now it's going to look a little messy here while I'm on the smaller screen, but look at this, all right? Look at that. Look at that scenario 3. Look what happened to the price action here, all right? Shooter comes all the way up in here, hits magnitude, comes back down. All right, gets back through this old fractal triangle, this old broadening formation, gets all the way back down here, starts reversing back up. All right, then you get your 2-1-2 reversal up. This one's a little messy, but you could have stayed in there. All right, you could have stayed in there because what did I take that your stops? I don't. It didn't take me out. All right, it didn't take me out. I stayed in there. But the price. That's what I want to show. I want you to see the price gets back down in here and moves back up. All right. There were a few other scenario 3s we could have used, and that's what all those lines you saw earlier. All right. Again, messy right now. Sorry about this. But look at that. All right. Look at this. Look at that. Here's your old broadening formation. Here, there's 2 of them. Okay. You got this one, and you got this one, okay? All right, scenario 3, all right? You also got one, you got one here and one here, but that, again, that's a lot of lines, all right? I just want to know where the majority of the fractal triangles are. What are we pushing down to? What are we moving up to? All right, the price has moved all the way down through this one. All right, move through this one as well. Bam, all the way down, all the way back up. Test the lows, test the highs, test the lows. Moving back up. All right. So what we want to see is, are we going to move back down in here? Are we going to move back through, you know what I mean, and get through these 2? Look at this. Look at this. That's a crazy scenario 3 right there, all right? From 366 up to 372. That is crazy, all right? Crazy huge. So we want to see stuff like that. We want to see, we do have our broadening formation, but we want to see our levels of reclaim. We want to see what is the price going to get back through. What are we working back through? Okay. So those, if it's too much on the charts, don't worry about it. Take it off. Take it off. But sometimes that helps. It's really hard to ignore the price going back through a previous range when you have them marked. All right. But if it's too much, don't worry about it. If it's too much, you know what I mean? I don't want you to have a, you know, I'm gonna start an epidemic. Everybody putting blue lines all over their charts. If it's too much, you don't have to mess with it. If you want to look at something else that's interesting, let's get rid of these. I got my broadening formation on QQQ, and right here, scenario 3. Scenario 3. All right. Look at the price. Interesting. All right. Took them down. Took them back up. All right. Took them down. Then brought it right back up, and then kind of tried to bring it back down again. All right. I think we can look at this same thing. Nope, it's not gonna let me look at. Sometimes on their charting, some charting softwares, they will take these and they'll push them over to the other. If there's a setting, let's see here. Let's see, display on all workspaces. Yes, it's not letting me do it. I'll work on that. Lock figure. Show on original time frame and below. There you go. There you go. That's how you use TrendSpider. Oh man, there you go. And below. So the reason why I did that is because I want to show how this one right here, this scenario 3, price is all working in this. All right, came back out of this, dropped back in here. All right. Here's your daily chart. All right. Worked it all the way back down, reversed all the way back up, hit the magnitude, came right back down, hit back through, and then again, are we going to move back up? All right. Here's our broadening formation. Now, we don't use support and resistance. We don't use horizontal lines for support and resistance because they don't allow for time. We know that, right? We know that, yes. But what we can do is mark these levels of reclaim and know, okay, this is on the weekly chart. This is the scenario 3 on the weekly chart. What are they wanting to do here? All right. Technical analysis would say, okay, here's our breakout. Here's our breakout. We're good. You know what I mean? I'm gonna buy the throwback. Here it is. And then other people are saying pullback, which is not right. But I'm gonna buy the throwback, and and then it starts doing this all the way back in. All right. Oh, I got faked out. Our broadening formations, we know they test the highs, test the lows, test the highs, test the lows, test the highs. All right. And they're coming back in. All right. Now, the question is, are they going to bring it right back through this scenario 3? All right. You can even do that on your 60-minute charts. You can use those same lines for your 60-minute charts. All right. Test the highs, test the lows. It comes right back through this try. Take it up as high as they can, comes back down. Again, brings it right back up. Hits the top of the broadening formation on the 60, comes right back down. All right. But these blue lines, this is the weekly scenario 3 that we looked at. All right. Are we going to get stuck in this? Right now, it looks like it. And if it's stuck and there's no actionable signals in here and you don't want to trade that, it's okay. You can sit out. You don't have to mess with it. You're like, until it gets out of this scenario 3, I'm not messing with it. You can do that. If this shooter goes in force on the week to the downside and gets out of this broadening formation, you know where it's going. It's going to 438. Excuse me. It's going to 348. 348. You know what I mean? That's where it's going. All right. That's the next target. So once it's out of here, that's where it's going next. You can say that with confidence. All right. And then you trade it that way. But again, if it's a whole bunch of, you can see already, it's a lot of lines, all right? If you don't want to have all that, take them off. Take them off, all right? I'm starting to see that that's a good visual for me, though, because there's a lot of times when you're like, why did the price just go right back to the highs? You know what I mean? Why did it do that? Well, if you're looking at your fractal triangles, you know, you can see, okay, that's the bottom of this week, this scenario 3, this old fractal triangle on this old Brownian formation on the QQQ, and it's going right back up. You know what I mean? They test the lows, test the highs, test the lows, test the highs. If it helps you, do it. If it helps you, do it. What are we looking for next week? Honestly, again, looking at that shooter, everything, there's a lot of things with shooters on the week. Utilities, 2 down on the month, 2 reversal down on the month. That's not necessarily a hammer. That's a little nasty doji thing on utilities. They, on Thursday this week, bringing them back up, but it's really, if you look at the daily chart, trading sideways, not doing much. XRT retail, 2 down on the month. Here's your weeks, you know, down, 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 down. All right, I did have this hammer marked and didn't really do much. All right, it went right back down. So XRT retail, looking for that reversal down. The reason why XRT and most things in XRT, what brought this down? Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods, bad earnings. Lots of people, lots of theft, lots, we call this, yeah, there's just theft. All right, lots of theft, lots of, lower prices and trying to get rid of all this stock that they had when things were going well and they were buying. So it's like, give me more stock, give me more stock. So give me more product to sell. And they're like, well, we got to get rid of it. So they're marking down prices to get rid of that old product. And it affected sales. Huge drop in Dick's, all right? Causing a scenario 3 on the monthly chart, all right? We wanted to see if this thing, how do we trade gaps? When we see a gap down, we're waiting for the reversal back up. It did go 2 reversal back up, but then the entire market back down. All right, so Dick's, we want to see what's going on there. We'll watch that. XLK going 2 down on the month. Shooter on the week, retail. Excuse me. This is tech. You know, this chart looks exactly like QQQ. It looks exactly like Apple. Are we going to get this 322 back up? All right. If we do, it's still going to be inside weak. We want to see what happens here. What's going to go on XLK? Here's your broadening formation on XLK, the month and the week. Not a lot to scream at. All right. Be careful. Be careful out there. All right. Remember our levels? I was talking about the levels of reclaim. Are we going to get back in here? This scenario 3. What are we going to do? These are 60-minute charts. Okay? 60-minute chart. What are we going to do here? This goes in force at 169. All right? This line, 169. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe, but there's your scenario 3 on the 60-minute. Once the price gets back into this old, this fractal triangle, all right, this broadening formation on a smaller time frame, what are we going to get back through this one? You know what I mean? You can mark that one too. Or we're going to get back through here. You can, all right? You could probably delete this one now, all right? Or you can use both. All right, price is coming back up. Move through here. All right. Now the next thing. Are we going through here? All right. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to trade. We want to trade what's actually happening on the charts. All right. Clean that up a little bit. That's what we're looking for on XLK. XLE, I called out the hammer on XLE, and XLE said, Who are you talking to? You ain't gonna tell me what to do. It did not go in force, all right? And I wouldn't call this a hammer. I'd call it an ugly hammer. It's gonna open up inside weak right here at $87 and not doing much, all right? 2 up on the month, but doji, not doing much on the week. really, it's going to open up inside weak. I wouldn't call that a hammer either, but it did start moving back up. All right, here's that snare. Here's your level of reclaim on the 60-minute broadening formation. What are we going to do here? We're going to work our way back up through here. All right, back up to 89, 89.61. 89.61, way up in here. All right. Are we going to do that? We will see. All right. We will see. IBB with, well, that's a lot of stuff. IBB with Biotechs. I remember I said I was going to go with IBB instead of Labu. Biotechs, there's a lot of stuff drawn on there. Go check those out. Mark those on your own. But it's just trading sideways. All right, Biotech trading sideways. We do have a hammer on the day. And I can see where I was marking here. This scenario 3. Are we going to get through that? All right, that's what we want to see. It could. That could. We could get a 2-2 reversal back in here and move all the way back up. All right. We will see. We can watch it. We can watch it. Trade what you know to be true. XLV Healthcare trading sideways. I do have levels of reclaim already drawn on the daily broadening formation. That's clear. I'll leave that. But really, Doji on the week. Forming a shooter on the month. Not doing much. All right. So if we start working our way through this broadening formation, we start hitting these, these levels of reclaim. You got evidence. Okay, we are moving back to the highs, and we're moving back through these old scenario 3s back up. All right, then you can yell a get all day long. Get. If we get all the way back up in here, 136, it's going to give you 136.55. All right, coincidence? Maybe. Maybe, but I could definitely say I trade what I know to be true. It's going back to these old fractal triangles back to the highs, and it'll give us a 2-2 reversal at 134, and the top of the magnitude of that is 136.55. All right. So again, if these help you, use them. If not, take it all off. XLP consumer staples. Just trading sideways still. I drew this is an old box. I drew this and it's just still doing it. If you're good at the strat and you know how to trade up and then down and then work it again and then work it again, go ahead and do that. Me, I'm staying out of this. I call this chop shop. All right, not doing much. XLP. Let's do some hard hitters. What's some fan favorites? Tesla. What are we looking at on Tesla? Man. 2 down on the month. Tried to go 2-2 reversal. Is that an inside bar? Oh, it's a 2 up. All right. Finally did go 2 up on the day. Excuse me, 2 up on the week on Tesla. And so you'll have to look for a reversal back into this, but it could get back up to 254. 254. Here's your 60-minute charts. Again, trying to get back through this scenario 3. Right here. Trying to get back through that sucker. All right, trying to get back through here. And you can see where it traded down, all the way down, worked it, tried to test the highs, test the lows, test the highs, test the lows, test the highs, finally got out of this. Well, it's not, finally hit the magnitude of this. All right, don't say it's out yet. You can look at your daily charts, all stuck in here. So if you didn't do anything, that's okay. It's stuck. Let's look for next week. All right, let's look for a reversal into this. Is that an inside day? It looks like it. Nope, it's a 2 up. It's a 2 up. It's a 2 up. So is that a scenario 3? That looks like 1. Yep, it's a 3. Is it going to get back through this? All right. That's what we want to see. If you get a 2-2 continuation up, you want a reversal back into that. You know what I mean? You don't want to just take a 2-2 continuation into the face. I don't want you to do that. I do not want you to get wrecked. But you can see I drew the broadening formation on the week. It automatically snapped it on the daily chart. And on our daily chart, we want to see, are we going to get back through here take out this old broadening formation back to the highs and keep moving. What are we going to do? We want to see that. All right. Let's see. Anything else? AMD got wrecked. Oh my gosh. AMD killed. AMD killed. Let's get rid of all this stuff. It could expand the tribe back to the downside. Here's AMD on the 24th, that Thursday. I think that's a 2 up. Yep, that's a 2 up. This looks like a 1-bar ref strat to the downside, but it's not. It's a scenario 3 down. Took them up, took them down. Scenario 3 on the, that's created scenario 3 on the 24th. You can see that clearly. Ooh, nuts. Oh man, if you worked any of that on AMD, full time frame continuity to the downside, good for you. And honestly, you could have stayed in these puts. I would have took profit, but I mean, you could have stayed in these puts. AMD, the magnitude on AMD, it hasn't even hit it yet. Well, it did hit it here on the month. It went 212. Continuation down, hit magnitude at 107, but here's your second target way down here, all right, at $80. Wow, is it going to get way down in there? It's trying really hard to do that. AMD, automatic money destroyer. Wow, so that happened last week. Let's go to the Strat Soldier Easy Setup Scanner. That's what we're going to do right now. Let's see if we got any shooters on the week. What is this? Scanner, thank you. Let's see if we got any shooters on the week. Shooter. Scan. Give it to me. We got some shooters, all right? We got some shooters on the week. We could do this here. We get out of this. We go to the Strat Soldier Easy Setup Scanner. Most things going to the downside. AVGO, shooter. CMG, shooter. Cisco, shooter. All right, that looks like a good one. If buyers were working this thing, but is it going to go back down to the lows? All right. That's what we want to see here, and it hits magnitude at $52 if they want to take that thing down. But buyers are strong in here. I'm just saying, if the market starts going down and this goes 2-2 reversal, that could be some good magnitude. HCA, shooter on the week. Not doing much on the shooter on the week. Goes in force at 269. Hits magnitude at 264. And 264 will trigger the 212 reversal down on the month. All right, and then NVIDIA, how can I do this show without talking about NVIDIA? All right, NVIDIA, shooter on the week. Now, you see these things here. All right, I was talking on my webinar, I was talking about when the NVIDIA opens in the pre-market, what are we looking for? All right, we're looking for the reversal back down, and I was demonstrating with these fake candles how it could do that, and it pretty much did that. All right, the options on NVIDIA are like $13, $14. You getting options on NVIDIA is tough. All right, they're really expensive. So you don't want to. I'm not messing with all that. All right, those are really expensive. But it opened up at 502. It opened up at 502. Buyers said we got what we wanted, started taking them down. This is that Thursday. All right, this took the entire market down. And then NVIDIA 2-2 reversal back down on Friday. Now shooter on the week. All right, we're going to redraw this broadening formation here. Nope. Get rid of that. We're going to redraw this broadening formation off of this bar because this month is not closed yet. Bam, look at that, right on the weekly chart. All right, so we want to see if we get all the way back down to 403. 403. All right, 403 is going to be the magnitude on NVIDIA if it goes to the lows. 404. So we're going to see what they want to do there in NVIDIA. How far are they going to take them? All right. So if you want to learn All right, if you want to learn go check out thestratsoldier.com if you want to learn about actionable signals, time frame continuity, and soon broadening formations. All right, I'm going to be developing a broadening formation course here pretty soon. Go check out thestratsoldier.com, and we will get you started. The execution course goes through the Strat scenarios. What's a scenario 1, 2, and 3? All right, how do we use them to come in those Strat combos? How do we create those winning positions, add to them, and defend them with tight stops? And how do we stay in the trade? And then time frame continuity. If you want to learn about time frame continuity, go check out the Strat trade checklist. There's a criteria that we need to hit. There's a criteria that we need to meet before we take these trades. All right, we definitely want to have a hammer. We want to have actionable signals. Is there a hammer on the daily? Is there a hammer on the week? All right, how many actionable signals do we have? You know what I mean? Am I looking at inside bars? Am I looking at shooters? All right, that's what I was saying. We got conflicting actionable signals. We got a shooter on the week for next week, but we also have a hammer on the daily. All right, we want to see what they want to do. And we also line that up with time frame continuity. Who is in control, the buyers or the sellers? We want to know. We want to know, all right? And go check that out. If you don't know anything about trading and this is your first time seeing me, go check out my ebook, From Zero to Trading. There's a lot of decisions you need to make even before you start trading, all right? So get in there, go check that stuff out. And then with anything on there, you got email access to me, all right? And send me all the charts and questions you got, and we will get you on the right track. This is the Strat Soldier for the weekend shift. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.